Hi, I want to talk about something that we do, people, all of us do. I've done it and I've had it done to me more than once. We do it all the time. Pinning our dirt on somebody else. We do something wrong or we're doing something wrong. And instead of admitting that we're the ones at fault, that we're the ones that is in error, that we're the ones not doing the right thing, we blame somebody else. We blame somebody else. We try to get somebody else to do it. It's like if I'm playing in the mud, I get my hands dirty, right? And then somebody comes along and they say, "I don't," they told me not get your hands dirty. And then somebody standing right next to me and I rub my hands on them to get it clean, try to pin it on somebody else. There's lots of cases in the Bible where this has happened. So when King David, he saw a woman, he was out on the terrace, and he saw his neighbor's woman, his neighbor's wife, and this is he calls her and he takes his neighbor's wife. Adultery is wrong, always been wrong, and always gonna be wrong. You to take somebody else's and something that belongs to somebody else that is not yours, and and you take it, and then you do what you do, and all of a sudden she's pregnant. Now the truth is about to come out, okay? And instead of admitting that you were wrong, or David admitting that he was wrong, he goes and tries to pin the pregnancy on her husband by telling her husband to come back and not fight, not to fight and just come back and sleep with his wife. We do that all the time. So he basically tried to pin this pregnancy. This is a man trying to pin a pregnancy on another man. For him doing wrong, for a sexual sin, adultery. Adultery was always bad and always will be bad. Now, there's enough women out there. We got Murray Coat. What do they call it? The Murray Show? Where you have a lot of women pinning pregnancies on somebody else's. Or something they did dirty with somebody else, snuck around or something like that. Doing that kind of thing. Now, I'm not judging or blaming or anything. I did it a few times myself. I remember one time me and my brother was eating oranges. He wasn't supposed to be eating oranges, and I was playing in the basement with some Easy Off. And my parents came home, and we both go run into the bathroom to wash our hands. And I couldn't get in the bathroom because he was coming out, so I rubbed my hands on him. I was trying to get my hands clean, right? But I pinned it on my brother. I remember one time when my sister had ate some ice cream, and then she took the ice cream and pinned it, put it in my drawer. And so I got my butt whooped. My brother got his butt whooped. But I think my sister was the only one got away with it. But you can't get away with it with God. If it was wrong then, it's wrong today. And so David had literally had sex with this man's woman, got her pregnant, and then tried to get the husband to go and have sex with her. He wouldn't have sex with her because he was in the middle of a war. He was thinking about his men, his country, and his king. And so then David said, well, if that won't work, then tell the men to draw back. Tell them to draw back when he's on the front line. And so now this went from a sexual sin to murder, to a violent sin, to a violence, to murder, blood being spilled behind it. And that's what happens. That's what I was talking about. Lots of things, lots of sexual things lead to violence. It started sexual, but you didn't have somebody's wife or been with somebody, and now it's violent. And then that violence never left his house. you know, and his whole house was like that. So you don't get away. And as much as David was loved by the Lord, he still had to pay, you know. And that's what I don't care even if you have pin it on somebody else. The Lord remembers those things, you know. So David did repent, you know. And it is said that who the Lord chastises, he loves. The Lord chastises those he loves. So if the Lord ain't trying to chastise you, you know, if you don't get some punishment, you worse off because there's one coming. You know? It's like when your mom, you thought you got away with it, and then you laying in the bed asleep. All of a sudden, bam, bam. It's like, you know, if she didn't whip you, it was going to be worse because she was waiting for you. Waiting for you to fall asleep. Or waiting for you to get in the tub when you're naked and wet. That's even worse. So, anyway, my point about this is that I saw on the television today where a pastor was saying that he was being treated like a second class citizen because of his homosexuality. Now, homosexuality ain't never been right in the Bible, ain't never gonna be right, and and ain't never, you know, God didn't all of a sudden change his mind or forgot about it or nothing. And so this preacher is saying that. He's saying that you people are treating him wrong for what he does. So what his so doing his thing and doing his dirt, doing his wrong thing and pinning it and rubbing his hands all on you. And that's what they do to Christians and everybody else who says that homosexuality doesn't lead to life, it doesn't follow in the scheme of life or anything like that, um, uh, that it doesn't matter anymore or anything like that. They just pinning the blame on you. You treating us like a second. They the ones doing the dirt. It says it's like they don't give they don't give adulterers a free pass, but they're gonna give this homosexuality a free pass and say that it's okay. Now the bad thing about it is that usually, like all sexual sins, snowball. It snowballs into another thing. As one woman also said, she said, "Hey, we're not gonna invade your church as if that's what we were worried about. We got our own churches, and they probably got their own God to go with it, But it ain't this God that said, that it fornication, adultery, and homosexuality is still the same sin as it was back then. So people are saying it's okay and have your kids to do it and trying to train your kids and stuff like that. It's the same thing as David getting somebody else to draw back the front line. Draw back the front line and let them get killed. All of a sudden other people getting everybody else involved in something that you are doing. And that's what they're doing. And then pinning the blame on you like you're the troublemaker. You're the one. Anyway, I just wanted to bring up that point because that's what's going on. And not trying to judge anybody, but it concerned me because I saw this preacher and this woman who was dressed like a man. I guess she thought that made her a man. Supposedly. She was supposed to be a man, supposedly, and she said these things. But just remember that it's people are blaming. They're the ones doing this, and now they're trying to tell you're a bad person, you're a bigot or something for their dirt. It's in the Bible. It's going to be judged as dirt, just as anybody else. And I'm not saying that to make anybody feel bad, because everybody got their dirt. I got mine, and everything else. So it's not that. It's just the obvious. So you know, and usually it gets everybody else involved. Everybody else, not a whole. Everybody got to deal with this something that they doing. You know, got everybody because now they want to take something from somebody else, something that don't belong to them, which is marriage. It just doesn't belong to them, and now they want to take it and and use it when it doesn't belong to them. You know, plain and simple. God bless you all. Love you all.